Hey, today is the 11th flavor of my 25 flavors of the same story challenge. And before I start, let me thank today's sponsor, Costco, for sending me this beautiful water bottle. Well, beautiful? I don't know. But it has watermarks. It has, what's watermark? It has marks telling me how much water I should have at what time in the day. And it's pretty big. It has a 900 milliliters capacity or 30 ounce. So if I have this water bottle in hand, I never worry about forgetting about drinking water. So check it out at Costco. Thank you, Costco, for sending me this water bottle. Well, I didn't have to thank you because I pay for it. No, they're not sponsored. So please, don't sue me, Costco. Let's get into the story today. Do you have a moment, a time in life where you're trying to get to your goal? And there is just this thing in between you and your goal that you need to get to. And this thing, when you look at it, you're like, this is so going to suck. I don't want to do it, but I just have to because my goal is over there. I need to go through this challenge, this suffering, this thing. And you went in and do it. The moment you start doing it, you're like, well, actually, it's not bad. It's not as bad as I thought. And then the more you do it, the more you're like, hey, this is even enjoyable. And then you're almost at the end of it, you finish it. And then you look back, you're like, wow, I didn't thought this was going to be a wonderful experience, but it turned out to be, yes. I learned so much of it. There was so much I can talk about it. I can always remember it. It's become a wonderful memory for me. You have story like that? You have moments like that? I do. I'm going to tell you one of them. It was 10 years ago. Me and my best friend Neil, we were going to do a long-distance biking trip in Vietnam, southern Vietnam. We brought our bicycles. Our plan was to get into the northern capital city, Hanoi. And from there, we will use public transportation, maybe a train or a bus, where we sleep overnight. It's a long trip to get to middle Vietnam. And starting from middle Vietnam, we get on our bikes and we bike all the way to Ho Chi Minh City, the city in the south. That was our plan. But there was some mistake in our plannings. When we got into Hanoi, we found out that it was a week-long holiday, public holiday week in Vietnam. Everyone was on holiday. A lot of people were traveling. So the train ticket, the bus ticket that we thought we would get, that could give us sleeping seats, air conditioning, and sleep overnight. We get to our destination comfortably. We couldn't get the tickets. They were all sold out. And we were stuck in Hanoi. And now, this thing between Hanoi and middle Vietnam that we were going about to do next was this awful, awful local bus. This bus ran for 36 hours eventually for us to get from Hanoi to a city called Nha Trang. We sat on the bus for 36 hours because there was no sleeping seat and there was no air conditioning. And in Vietnam, the weather was hot, so we had to keep the windows open all the time. And the bus was stopping all the time because they wanted to get more passengers along the way and drop off people along the way. And that was the thing between us and our start of our bicycle trip. So we were thinking about this. We were literally looking at the bus and we were like, hey, Neil, do we really want to do this? Because we wouldn't have enough rest. Like, this is going to suffer. We're going to sit on this bus for 2 days without proper sleep. We're going to be so tired that I don't know whether we can start our bicycle trip after this. Then Neil was like, oh, well, this is our only option. We have to do it, right? So we won't give up on our bicycle trip. We worked so hard for this. We were looking for this trip really, really for a long time. Looking forward to this trip for a really long time because we wanted to do long distance biking together, but we never got a chance to. And this was our first and only time. And it was in a foreign country. We'd never been to Vietnam before. So we were already in Vietnam. We were looking forward to this bicycle trip so much. And we just have to do this bus trip, 36 hours. And we did it. We got on trip. Well, no, we got on the bus. We just we had nothing to do basically, so we pay attention to everything we could pay attention to. We're bored and we just look at everything and just look at. And it turned out to be actually not so bad. Like I say, the scenery on the both side of the road, the rice fields, the oceans, the sun, the trees, and the people who going home from work, going home from school, or maybe in the morning going to school, going to work, and the crew who ran the bus, we talked to them. There were four of them. They take shifts, and we have time to just chat with them and exchange life stories. And we ended up building some bondings with them. And at the end, when we say goodbye, I almost didn't want to say goodbye to them. And the passengers, some of them, they were so funny. They're so chill. And one of these passengers who had a cricket on his neck, and I'm almost certain that he knew that there was a cricket on his neck, but he didn't care. He didn't even care to just get rid of that cricket. And he felt like he didn't even care where he was going on this bus. He just sat down and sat for a few hours, and then he got off. So a lot of wonderful things happened during the trip too. Like in the middle of the road, there were cows walking, and our bus had to just wait patiently until the cows walked to the side of the road. And then also there was a car that was somehow flew into the middle of rice field. I don't know how it happened, but that's how it looked like. It just seemed like a car was in the middle of the rice field with no track of the car running into rice field. Also, a truck that dropped a box of fruits. We tried to stop the truck and tell them that they dropped a box of fruits in the middle of the road, but they couldn't see it. So we went down to the road to pick it up, and I got one of the fruits. So a lot of beautiful things happened during the trip, and eventually, when we got to our destination, where actually our starting point of the bicycle trip, we were exhausted, but we didn't want to say goodbye. We didn't want to end this trip. It felt like a road trip where we had so much fun with this crew and this full bus of passengers. And it eventually became a beautiful memory for me, at least. Maybe Neo too. I should ask him. So that was the story. That was when I did this bus trip that I didn't really want to do, but it turned out to be a beautiful memory for me. And even today, 10 years later, I'm talking about it. So you can see how much I missed it, how much I think it was a good trip. But at the beginning, when I was about to do it, that was not what I thought. What about you? What is in your life that, there is this moment where you feel like you don't want to do something, and when you actually do it, you start to enjoy it, and when it ends, you almost missed it. In a way, I feel that the challenge that I'm doing right now, telling the same story every single day to the camera and to maybe even the same group of people who has been watching and following my journey. Honestly, this idea, when I just say it out loud, like, oh, I'm going to tell the same story every single day, this feels terrible. This feels like a terrible idea, and I didn't want to do it, but I know in this discomfort there is something. So now I'm in the middle of this journey. When I started doing it, yes, there were challenges, there were sufferings, there were days where I was like, I just want to drop this idea. But today I'm so sure that I'm not going to give up on this idea because I'm in this journey, and I felt this is not so bad. I'm having fun. Maybe there are times when I'm not having fun, but continue doing it. I believe that at the end of this month, looking back, I will have so much to talk about it. I will get so much out of this journey. So whether you are getting something out of it, maybe not, because this is such a boring idea. It doesn't matter to me, because it's me who is trying to get to his goal. And I think I'm getting there. I'm just doing this thing. I'm taking this bus trip that is terrible, but I know that it is going to be wonderful. All right. That's a lot of things that I say today. Thank you for watching, and thanks again, Costco, for sending me this water bottle. And remember to check it out at Costco. This is nice water bottle. All right. That's it for today. Thank you. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.